This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, Doug, great to be here.
Greetings and felicitations.
I'm surprised you let me get away with this no headphone era.
Oh, dude, I didn't know.
Bro, you just ripped that off, just not even hearing us, just through your natural lizard timing.
I was like, what? I looked at myself and I was like, something's
These guys are coming in real faint.
That was like
something's.
that was your best intro and most well timed intro to date, dude.
Uh,
I do what I can. I do what I can. The clock's right twice a day, right?
that's
Yeah,
right.
Broken clock. Oh man. So yeah, it's been an uncharacteristically interesting week, I feel like, and we haven't even hit official Gen Con. I guess Gen Con starts today. I think it starts today. Wait,
It
Wednesday?
probably does.
I don't, or today or
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Wednesday.
I know
Soon.
Wednesday,
several
and then
some of our buddies are on the road. We're on the road earlier today, including
Yeah.
Sarmon, the White OG, who we had dinner with, I believe, if you
Oh,
recall.
nice.
Yeah, so there's everyone's at least on the road today. So,
yeah.
I saw his UV joints at the medical center.
bro, he came up today. So one of my Twitch viewers and sometimes podcast listeners, Mike Sorman, the White OG.
Mm-hmm.
He's always painting Marvel Crisis models, and and he gets really into
Very
any
good.
any bit that I have. And so my new bit where I don't know if you saw my Twisted Tea fanny packs,
I have not. No.
bro. So you know how I retire every year on my birthday.
Yeah.
So I retired this year, and I was like, I took all my savings and I put it into a sick investment, right? The future of thirst, which is this dope fanny pack, right? It's got like 3 zippers for all your dick pills from the gas station, and as a built-in beer koozie, straight up,
Nice.
bro. I just like had them developed. I have like 14 of them. Went bankrupt, and I'm back to work, obviously. So
Oh,
now I just give him out on stream, and he got one, and he takes it everywhere and tries to get a ridiculous picture with his family and like embarrasses them like crazy. Like,
as he
oh,
should.
4th of July at the
Classic.
pool, wearing it in front of the American flag, like no shirt on,
Nice.
gym, like dude, it's preposterous, dude. This guy, this wacko, he's
I
like,
love it.
he came up today when we were at a meeting with Arthur, and Arthur's like, oh yeah, what about Saruman? Like, he might want to come to our luxury wargamers retreat. And I was like, yeah. And then the other guy who only knows of him from the chat, like knows him as a total wacko, is like, wait, what does that guy do? We're like, yeah, like turns out he invented the mechanic for like UV bacterial killing light that hospitals use.
Oh, just that.
Yeah.
The guy out
Damn.
there posing with the fucking fanny packs.
That's
I
awesome,
mean,
though. That's really
he's
cool.
got a very good outlook on life. I like it.
We had a great dinner with him. We meet a lot of people in our line of work, and turns out a lot of nerds who play 40k and shit are
Nice.
do a lot of interesting things.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's great. I love it.
Gen Con. Man. Yeah, that holds a special place in my heart, man. I started like my whole writing career at Gen Con because Michael Stackpole would do like writing workshops. I actually have a picture of me and him and Timothy Zahn from like 25 years ago at Gen
God, Timothy's on
Con.
the real one.
It's actually longer than 25 years ago because I think, well, I think the Phantom Man ass had just come out.
Revenge of the Shit.
That's more. That's more. That's definitely more.
That was like 1999, right?
I feel
Around
like
then?
we went to the theaters together and watched that, dude.
I'm supposed to.
Don't you recall? We went down to that IMAX
No,
theater
I
down.
did. I wasn't living here yet.
Yeah, you weren't even in Colorado in
I wasn't in
'99.
Which
Colorado.
one did we go watch the movies
It
together?
must have been like Attack of the Clones or
Or
something.
yeah, or Revenge of the Sith or something.
Revenge
It
of
was
the
a long
Sith.
ass time
That's the
ago.
one we saw.
How do
You.
I? How am I your chronological or
How do you
chronophers?
know? How do you know? Yeah, the timing of me and Mike.
Yeah.
It's lizard timing,
Be-
bro.
It is I, his chronicle, who alone can tell thee of his saga.
That's
But yeah, what killed Gen Con for me, like they moved from Wisconsin to Indiana, And so me and Dave kind of stopped going. We went a couple years after that, but what really killed it when I think about it is the internet. Because before we went on a pilgrimage to the vendor hall at Gen Con because there was
Oh
stuff
yeah.
you could not get, period. Right. And then eBay came along. And it was
Dun
like,
dun
well,
dun.
I can get stuff. Like I can get these
Lots of
rare
stuff.
movie soundtracks or collectibles or, you know, a giant hero clicks of Cthulhu or Galactus. I don't have to be there anymore.
Yeah, and most of the vendor halls now at the cons are kind of just like a flea market, in my opinion.
They're generic.
It's
They're
just
the same at every con.
yeah, it's the same. And even within the hall, it's like every other booth is like the booth I just passed. Like, so they're irritated to me in a lot of ways to shop at now. It's like not even worth it.
Yeah, Recoil's asking me about my shirt. It's a funny story. I was going through the airport. Guy had just had it laying on his bag. He didn't need it anymore. I did. That's it. In true Blood Ravens fashion.
Speaking of which, the Onslaught box, I think it's called, hit Target stores, but then I promptly sold out. But you
Oh,
can
wow.
set up an email alert. I mean, it's $49.95 at Target, but that sprue is like $150 because it's the one from Indominus with like,
Yeah.
you know, all the Judocar himself sells for like $60 on eBay right now.
Bro, I need to go pick one of these
Wow.
up.
But yeah, set up the email alerts. I don't know when it's gonna go back, but I remember when the kill team, the heroes, they had them and then they sold out, and then I had the alert set up, and like a couple days later they came back in stock. So
Yeah.
It's exciting times. So
you don't even have to go to Gen Con for it.
nah, just fucking down the street, bro.
Mm.
So let's jump into it. Let's get this
Yeah.
news going. We've got actual, 40K tactical base topic tonight. We're going to be talking about the challenger cards, and we've got tons of news.
Tons of news. I got
GW
pages of
financials.
news.
So
Nobody cares about GW financials.
I care because it's kind of indirect. I care deeply because it makes us look like real news.
So just throwing some statistics out there because I know Wyatt was trying to dig at me about, hey man, you should talk about this.
He
this
said that
cheater
shit like
thing.
3 days ago, and it's like you just saw it. Like I was like, what the fuck?
I just acknowledged it.
Rob sees all.
Although I did get something wrong recently, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not as
Oh,
all seeing as I thought I was.
98% down to 97%.
Wyatt
Yeah,
just unsubscribed.
that's fine. No, he was like, hey, you should talk about this cheater thing, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then
That's what we were talking about. Forgot
and
about that.
nobody cares about this business shit, and I was like, actually, the business shit gets like 10-to-1 traffic of the cheater shit. Like,
Yeah, well, the cheetah shit dies on the vine so fast, which is probably a problem, right? Like, so.
I mean, there's all sorts of strategies, but it don't matter. Anyways, yeah. So we got some news, actually a lot of news. So let's get through it. I kind of broke it up. So the pre-orders last week were the Grey Knights, Black Templars, and Grey Knights and Black Templars. Actually, that was it. The interesting thing to note is the only thing that was actually allocated was the Grey Knights Battle Force, which I know Haspel was looking forward to because he wanted that upgrade sprue for his Grandmaster Dreadnought, I'm sure. And so
wait,
it turns
Grandmaster
out,
Dreadnought, he'd be in for that.
no, Dreadnought.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but what you said
I know.
would have actually got it back.
I know. We can a girl can dream.
Yeah, there's such a thing as green stuff.
Yeah.
I have 6 of them.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you have more
So-
Dreadknights than anyone.
But the weird thing is it was super allocated 2 per store max. And
What?
but it's funny because they gave 2 to all the influencers too. So like every influencer got just as many as every game store did, which is always a hoot.
It's all a part of the strategery to get rid of the Grey Knights because then
Clearly.
when people lose interest in them and don't want to buy their stuff, then they'll just squat them. They'll just be like, "Oh, people don't like this army." The end.
The end. I don't know. But the thing that is doing shockingly well
Black Templar.
on the Spiky Bits news circuit is, drumroll please, Joy Toy full scale Lieutenant Titus wearable helmet.
Not gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard to resist.
That's a
I
big
mean,
change. Last week you were like, can't, no, too much, and now you're like, oh man, it's pulling at me.
It's
bro.
too
So
much.
they put out the official video, and the official product shots of it. It looks way cooler than it did in the previous video.
It's pretty damn tight.
And I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, how much do I like Lieutenant Titus? And I was like, not that much, but it looks dope.
Wyatt says it caused him like the Green Goblin mask.
You gotta
it
get
does. It's like talking to me in the corner.
So we have that post has gotten quite a bit of traffic. We have some affiliate agreements with folks, and I saw quite a few sales come through off that too. So that was shocking. It had a better response than the Night Titan action
The Joy
figure.
Toy, yeah. It's
wearable, dude.
Adding
It is. I get it.
Adding insult to injury, but I would expect nothing less. Is that they sell the plinth thing separately?
Oh, they did. They do. It's
I
part
know.
of the bump. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I was just like, I would expect nothing. I can't even be mad. I'm just like, you know that if I get the helmet, I'm gonna get the plinth. I am.
Yeah.
So
you might as well
I
just
can't
get the
even be mad.
bundle.
I can't even be mad.
I don't even see how they're not sold separately, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was I guess to be expected. So that did shockingly well. And a lot of people are very interested in that. Now, we put out the valuations for the Raven Guard and White Scars combat patrols. Let me preface it. They're both pretty good. GW seems to be lowering the bar a bit to about the $50, $60 range. For combat patrols, it used to be like 60, 70. Some spike, like the Dark Eldar one, the Gene Stealer Cults one, the Demons one is like up around 100, 80 to 100 on those three, I believe. But keep in mind too that everybody out there is like, when these combat patrols are the worst lineup of miniatures. That's not actually true, because there's nothing in any of these 5 combat patrols except for Dude on Jet Bike that are locked in to being chapter specific, which means like if you're just looking to get like a bunch of Space Marines of different kits, you basically can make your own battle force at this point and just pick up 2, mix and match 2 together, or maybe go 3, or maybe go all 5 and just get a bunch, like whatever. There's nothing in there that locks you into playing a specific faction, or excuse me, chapter. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like if you look at it from a broad overview, like these are all great Space Marine combat patrols. So once you get past the fact of there's not as much value in these as traditional, it seems like the value in 10th edition is going down a notch, unfortunately. But other than that, still sweet savings. We like saving money. Got to vote with your hobby dollars there. I did want to mention, a lot of people were poo-pooing the Saturnine box, and we kind of said, hey, there could be, this would be dope if it crossed over into 40K, right? Like you could still play, like if you could play with the Saturnine Terminators.
Like, I mean, no one's gonna stop me from playing with them as a model, but it'd be tight if there would be tight if there's like a rule.
Yeah, if you could 1-for-1 play with Saturnine Terminators in 40K, these things would sell 10, 20 times more.
10x,
like
easy,
done. Like it's not even a question at this point.
You couldn't print enough.
You could not, and obviously they printed to that capacity, but they did not get that sort of demand. Yep. But that being said, the correct evaluation on this box, money wise, in GW money, is nearly $700, which is, you're basically 2xing if you're in the heresy and you want these models, or you have a specific purpose for these models. And also remember, there's a rule book in there, and also a $25 like plastic objective set. Like this box is bananas value. It's the highest starter box they've ever produced, money wise, it's also the most value that they produce. So that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, you'd expect those actually to be the same. Like
You would, but you just never know. It's like, a box of chocolates. So that was cool to see. Now we got they're all up for pre-order. All the individual units. They came out with a new Saturnine Terminator or Saturnine Dreadnought. The weapon sprues are separate. Unfortunately, they're all direct only. The new Dreadnought will be in stores, but the one that comes in the Saturnine box will not be in stores. That's direct only. The Disintegrators are direct only. Most of the stuff that I think they forecasted low demand for are direct only, but the rest of the items will be available from Games Workshop's website and retailers. I don't expect a big demand for them, unfortunately, but if you're looking for some of those, they will be up for pre-order this Saturday. Let's keep talking about stuff in general. So we talked about Las Vegas Open. We're going to talk about Long War Doubles a little later. Tickets are obviously still on sale. It's happening in October. We did a giveaway 2 weeks ago, I think, for
Mateo won a ticket, and he's already booked travel arrangements, and he's playing in a Long War Doubles with Rottweiler as his teammate.
Oh, that's dope.
So
that worked out well.
A lot has happened. Yeah.
Oh, well, gosh. I feel like we lived a whole life in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. So that's cool. Definitely keep that one in mind. GW also came out with the free new mini of the month. It's the Space Wolf Bloodclaw. It will be available starting this Saturday, August 2nd. But also keep in mind, you might have, if you're interested in that, you're probably going to be interested in the fact that Captain Centos goes on sale next Saturday, August 9th. Not sure how much it'll be. If I had to guess, probably be around $40. But you could wait and maybe two-fer it up and get a free guy and pay for a guy. And, if you spend enough money, maybe get the free coin for each of them or whatever. I'm not sure. I would imagine Bloodclaw would be pretty popular. But who knows? Definitely 2 big reasons to head on down to your local Games Workshop corporate store this month. And another big sale that's on my radar, at least, is one of the show sponsors, Fabricators Forge, is currently having a up to 75% off miniatures. And that's not like, hey, the shitty stuff is 75% off. Like, some major lines are 70% off, 75% off, which I was kind of shocked. I was like, why are you doing this? And he's like, there's so much shit just sitting around. I was like, all right, if you have the don't have that group,
everything must go.
Well, not everything, but it's like one of those things. Like, game lines are so community centric that, like, if the group of guys goes on to another game, you might not sell anything from that game system in your store
ever again
locally, right? So it's good, to just, well, I mean, anybody should rotate through stocks. So I guess there's just a lot of stocks sitting around. So check that out. It ends on Monday, up to 75% off miniatures.
Speaking of everything must go. So I was at a mattress store the other day, which I didn't realize they actually were real stores. I thought they were all just like where you like launder money.
Okay.
And we were there looking at some mattresses, and I just kept looking over my shoulder. There was like this display mattress to the left, and they had like a display on it of like a mattress spring, right? And it had like a coil and a coil inside of it, and it was in a clear box that you can compress and see how the spring coils. I was like, how much for the fucking coil? She's like, that's not for sale. I was like, come on.
Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. How much for the fucking little box? Nobody's ever commented on that box. She wouldn't sell it to me.
No.
You could probably make your own. I don't know.
I want it. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this spring box, dude.
Want the spring? Just get you one of these old people squeezy balls when you get stressed.
But I want it to be clear, and I want to see the internal workings of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything. I got nothing.
Kenny's Mechanicum.
All I'm saying is Fabricator Forge would have sold me that fucking spring box.
Oh, for sure, dude.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. So definitely check that one out. I actually bought some stuff too. Oh, excuse me. And it's not just miniatures either. It's got TCGs up on there too. If you're into slinging some cardboard, they got you covered there.
Nice.
what else did we talk about? Oh, the Leagues of Votan evaluation movie. All right. I mean, okay, so there's another Combat Patrol, Leagues of Votan, whatever. It's got some money. About the $50 just normal. I think that's all the big stuff. I did want to circle back to, there was a couple of so obviously there was some tournament drama. The band player
It's funny
who
how,
shall
like,
not,
to your point earlier, that like these things are so flashy, and like, and so the flashpoint is so hot on like a drama like this that I've
yeah,
already forgot it happened, even though it's like all I cared about for like one day. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
agree.
but it is relevant. Uh, Continue, please.
And the only reason I know stuff like this kicks off is because I see the last article come up in like what's being hit for traffic. Like, oh, 40K cheater. Like all of a sudden a bunch of people are reading this article from like, a month or a year or 6 months ago. And when I see that happen, I know there's another.
Something has happened because everyone's Googling it and finding the wrong article
Right.
because you
So
haven't
then
written it
I'm like,
yet.
right. So then I go and I'm like, all right,
So
what's
what
going
was it?
on?
Dallas Open?
No, the Lone Star Open.
Lone Star Open. Sorry, Lone Star Open.
Yeah.
ITC.
So we republished a statement from Frontline Gaming, to the effect that they they have a policy where, if something, a specific series of, occurrences, cheating or what have you, they can ask you, the whole red card system, they can ask you to sit out for a year or whatever. I guess in this case it was a year. And then basically this person, they did their time and they're coming back. The community didn't exactly agree with it. So there was a little bit of an outrage on the internet, on Reddit. And, I see it from both sides. There's a policy over here, and dude's like, hey, I want to come back. And then the community's like, no, we don't like this guy. And then Frontline's like, oh, crap, what do we do? So, they're like, hey, we got to have a nice, comfortable place for everybody. So it's got to be safe for him. It's got to be safe for y'all. Like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea for him to come back right now. And, I get both sides. We try to present it as such, like, hey, here's what happened. Here's the statement, in its entirety.
Well, yeah, it's
And
funny though because like this particular person is had interaction with people on this show, and
I've
it's
heard that.
not unreasonable to say he is not well liked individual in the Dallas community. It has been caught multiple times, doing the same thing over and over again. So so the facts is it was a 1 year suspension, and a lot
Right.
of people have that fact wrong. Okay, there's no lifetime ban, nothing like that. A lot of people are throwing stuff out.
Yeah,
He
that
was
doesn't
banned for a
sound
year.
right.
He was banned for a year, and then during that time, uh, administration actually changed at Frontline Gaming. So
Yep.
all new administrators of this scene upheld all of their word because they weren't going to begin a career of changing the word. You know what I mean? Then it was time. The community had not forgiven this person. There was tons of outrage, and he
Mhm.
was asked not to attend, honestly, for safety.
Okay.
I can see it.
That's that's the drama.
Yeah.
That's the whole drama. Yeah, please,
Yeah.
Mike, comment.
I don't know anything about this and everything. It's the first safety part that triggered me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like in my sphere of things, become persona non grata over some bullshit, and that's always the excuse. Is I feel unsafe if this person attends this con.
Well, I
And
think
it's
it was
like,
more for that guy. Like that guy might something that happened to him is the vibe I got from reading it. Not necessarily that
you think
there.
somebody would like.
I believe the official statement for Frontline Gaming was both sides of that. Like these folks feel uncomfortable because of this individual, but this individual might also have something to worry about himself because of the response.
Yeah, that's pretty sad in my mind. That it's like you can feel uncomfortable and you can be like, that guy's a prick, and I don't want to talk to him, or I'm going to call him a prick to his face or whatever. But it's pretty sad when you're like, hey, we're not going to allow this guy to attend because there's actual real safety,
Yeah, and
physical
the guy had
things going
also eyewitness from this podcast had been involved in physical altercations before.
on.
So
Okay. Well, maybe I'm speaking out of ignorance. I don't
no,
know.
that's the thing is the whole internet kind of is right. And so,
Yeah.
and there's also was a talk of a shady backdoor deal where like they were giving players this like secret way to opt out of playing the guy, and really that was a scenario that was playing out that they told the guy, fine, you don't have to play him, kind of situation. So
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
you know, we'll see what the future is for the individual. But I stand with ultimately with the decision that they made, and also I totally back the statement, their official statement that like Jake made for Frontline Gaming. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
incredibly succinct and well written and factual.
Ultimately, it's their event. They can prevent people from attending who they don't want. Like that's the
Yeah,
truth of the thing.
he
It's
definitely,
true.
and like I say, I'm not saying that the guy ever actually like got in a fight with anybody, but he definitely
Yeah.
has been known to get inside of people's personal space and raise people's cackles, like, which is not a behavior
Yeah,
that.
that's not a
No, that's socially unacceptable.
and it's just sad that but that's the world today, I guess. Is people are not rational. People are dumb and stupid and fly off at the handle.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm not calling out this guy. I have like people that I know who are on this podcast who've interacted with him. So like, it's not like I heard this from a guy who heard this from a guy. Like so
Yeah,
that
like I said, I don't know this guy.
that
I don't
drama
know.
all played out like last week, and it was big news. But then now there's new news, right? Like it's like so it's a lot of people were worried about, and also the reason we mentioned it really has was because like a lot it does get the
Oh
community
yeah,
in
I
an
just no,
uproar,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
Hmm.
I just the reason it kind of triggered me is because there are in my writing community there are writers that become found guilty of wrongthink,
yeah,
and because they're on the wrong side of a political opinion, they start getting banned. And the reason you can't just say, well, this person isn't allowed at Origins or Gen Con or whatever, right? Is the excuse they use is for safety. That's what they always say. Is
well
that
said.
I feel unsafe with this author attending, right? And then once somebody says that, they're able to get rid of Gina Carano or get rid of somebody else,
Hmm.
right? Whose names I won't mention. Gina Carano was a big famous one because they did that to her. And famously, that con ignored the people that said that they were unsafe. I mean, she's going to sit behind a table and sign autographs. So I'm sorry. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah, no.
you know,
Thank you for
that's
your insight.
She
that's why I
can
kind of reacted.
she can come here. I mean,
But that's why I kind of reacted.
No,
it's
you're right because
fine.
it is sometimes you're right. It's one of those words people use, and it's like in the workplace when someone's like, "Oh, now it's a hostile work environment. I can't work with this person."
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the first person who says that is the winner now, right? Like,
Yeah.
like
But yeah,
yeah,
it's sad that these things. I mean, remember a couple years back there was that whole incident with a guy getting punched at Gen
Yep,
Con. I thought it was
yeah,
right.
it was.
it was.
It was nuts, man. But
It-
it's
Yep. So let's move on to the financials.
Well, just yeah. So I think there's a little bit I want to get into before that, but I did want to mention the latest Games Workshop crackdown, air quotes. You might have heard they went after a cosplayer recently on YouTube, Galactic Armory. Basically got the ban hammer, and he did a video on it, just like, hey, this is their IP. They can definitely, um,
Yeah.
make that enforcement. But it was all interesting timing because it was like 2 days before they dropped that Lieutenant Titus helmet, the wearable Joy Toy
Oh
helmet.
yeah,
So
obviously.
the timing was,
So they made their cosplay moves right when they were dropping a cosplay prop.
yeah, yeah. It's just like, all right, let's go get these guys. Hope, hope. So anyways, and then there was recently, I think the 23rd or 25th, a LARPing venue or organization in Australia called Swordcraft that made an announcement, a very vague announcement on their Facebook that they were contacted by Games Workshop and that they're in discussions with them, and they changed some of the terminology on their event pages and such, and um, that may or may not have something to do with all the LARPing gear that's being officially licensed by Berg Schneider, German name. I can't say it right. I'm sure Haspel already knows what I said wrong and can say it correctly.
I'm sorry, I was arguing in the chat. I
Ber-
didn't hear what you said.
Bergen Schneider. Does that sound right?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're never gonna say that word again. I'm Ron Burgundy. And there was some really interesting comments. If you want to read the article over on Spiky Bits in the comments, a lot of interesting comments in there about what the true nature of the discussions might actually be. I reached out to them. I said, hey, you might want to go read these comments over here because they're kind of spicy, and you might want to take a look at this. So because the article is getting a lot of attention, but we'll see where this goes from there. If it was just indeed about Games Workshop products, or if there was maybe perhaps something to do with their core values and things that maybe Games Workshop didn't want to be associated with them for other reasons besides business, besides money. We just don't know. But we'll find out more on that hopefully soon. But then, yeah, I wanted to run down the stuff in the financials, but I feel like we need to take a commercial break because I've been talking too long.
All right, before we jump into commercial break, let me talk about QuestCon for 1 second. That's an Orlando-based, I think, like role player miniature convention. I've never even heard of it, but apparently it's been going on for a while. Like a lot of these cons have a tendency to do under the radar, like you never heard of, And the only reason I mention it is QuestCon in Orlando has one of our show friends and fellow streamers, Kalini.
Oh, okay.
Fellow Florida man. He also did artwork for us once for our D&D night. He's a prolific illustrator and painter. He's out there hosting a actual painting competition. And the problem is it's like not on the site for like ticket purchase. Like it's like it's on site. So a lot of people don't know what's going on. So there is an Orlando-based miniature painting competition at a con called QuestCon. So if you're in the area, there's millions of you guys in the area, go Google questcon.com, see the dates, and just know that there is actually a miniature painting competition and a 40K event, part of the Crucible series in Florida, taking place there. Check that out.
Nice.
Rob, hit us with the most intriguing set of data possible right now.
This is the most intriguing news in the hobby world right now, I assure you. So to no one's surprise, Games Workshop and Warhammer is printing money again. I know, right? How does this keep happening? And I think the easiest way to explain it all is people are buying Warhammer for the merch now. We as hobbyists are now peasants, and it kind of, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Always have been.
They always have been. So the writing is on the wall. We can see the switch happening. The change in the logo. If you haven't checked out that article and all the pictures and all the memes out there, it's just awesome. My only regret is in the article, I forgot to put in the thing about how like Target used to be all neon and now it's all gray, and comparing McDonald's and Taco Bell's, and just everybody's doing it. Even Asmodee rebranded themselves, before they started raising all their prices because they're basically tariff beholden. And speaking of tariffs, Games Workshop actually said in their financials that they are going to probably take a $12 million hit on next year's financials just in the US alone. So there's going to be, some more expense stuff coming up for them that they kind of alluded to in here. They also said that they're going to continue to raise prices. I know, to no one's,
of course,
absolutely no one's surprise. I'm surprised they didn't do it yet in 2025, and they still can.
Again, can't even be mad. Like if they go, hey, this mini's $40, and you go, that's a lot, and then you buy the mini, you can't be mad.
Right.
And then if they go, hey, it's $60, and you go, man, that's getting out of control, I'll take 2. You can't be mad. You can't be mad.
Yep. So you're right. So they posted a record annual revenue of money. It doesn't matter. Talking about their margins around 37.5, which is just crazy talk.
That is
Um,
nuts.
it's absolutely ludicrous. And the sheer fact, and we've shown it a number of times on here, how much money they've actually left on the table because reasons, pick a supply chain, pick ineptitude, pick whatever. It doesn't matter at this point because clearly we're all doing it wrong except for them. So the licensing revenue surged. Obviously, it's going to come back down because of Space Marine 2. There isn't going to be a Space Marine 2 on the books for next financials, but that crushed it. So they're going to do more of that, I'm sure. They open up new stores. They only closed about 8 stores, which is kind of crazy, and they're really pushing in Japan and South Korea. But I feel like they always say that, and then don't end up doing it. But that's just my 2 cents right there. The stuff that I found fascinating was, despite facility upgrades, including a 3rd shift in Tennessee here in the States, their main warehouse that ships out to Canada, US, and South America, and adding 10 robot pickers, they still can't keep up.
That is okay. That is insane to me when I hear about, like, wait, what do you do? I'm working mids at the Games Workshop factory. That's insane.
Well, warehouse. It's a warehouse. But yes.
Oh, it's a warehouse. It's not a factory.
Yeah.
No. They took all the machines back to England in 2013.
That's still insane, though. That's
Sure.
still crazy.
Oh, I agree. So, like I said, and if you look at the financials, they broke it out by trade, retail, and what's the other one? Oh, their own store. No, trade, retail, and online, their web stores. Their online and their actual stores dropped at 1 and 2 percentages over last year, and the trade picked it up. But trade's still like 60%. So 60% of the revenue is coming from game stores. Well, when you look at product sales, this isn't merchandise, right? So this is apples to oranges here. But just kind of keep that in mind. Like games, they need game stores, and their sales at the other places continue to drop.
But you're also seeing why they care less and less because they're making more and more money.
Right, because this pot over here is starting to fill up more. So, and I think they're going to that. So just something to really kind of think about. Black Library novel sales hit 4.5 million, which is, people are in the hobby, but they're in the hobby reading the lore. People are in the hobby, but they're playing the video games. This hobby,
the IP is taking over.
It is, and it's cool to see. They also talked about their major risks: IP theft. Oh no, cybersecurity threats. Obviously, an issue. We had a major medical, what do you want to call it, facility here get malwared and ransomware, and everybody lost their records. And
oh my gosh,
yeah, it was pretty terrible. Because a lot of folks medical, because it was a X-ray place, so like. A lot of people don't have their X-rays right now around here, which is kind of sucks. So yeah, cybersecurity, I could see it. Supply chain instability, and like I mentioned, there is going to be a tariff-related profit hit next year. Their IT systems overhaul won't be completed until 2028, 29. Remember, like I've seen a lot of the insides of their infrastructure and what systems they're running, and a shocking amount of their infrastructure runs on Windows from the 90s. I'm not even joking. So,
I mean, I get it.
Yep.
They're not alone in that.
No, they're not.
True. But I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is that Games Workshop and a lot of companies out there are in a similar boat. they're not fighting for a wallet anymore specifically. They're fighting for our time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that a lot of these companies really have to start realizing, and Games Workshop's realizing it because, if you can get the book, or you can play a game, or you can play a video game, now they're getting it. But when it was just, hey, you got to play this and it's going to take, an afternoon to play this game, they had a captive audience for the most part.
Yeah.
But now they don't. But that's why a lot of this
Yeah.
is getting slimmed down so much to the outcry of the community. So
But
that's the
it's smart,
trends.
right? Because if
Oh,
they
sure.
can capture your time and attention all within the same IP,
Yep.
right? Then I don't care if you're reading a book or listening to an audiobook or watching something on Warhammer TV or playing a video game or actually painting in the hobby. You're still mine. You're
Hmm.
in my ecosystem. It's really good. And the IP is just getting warmed up. It hasn't even hit yet.
Yep. I agree. And it's, and you could even say that that some of the other game systems are there as retention to keep people after they fall out of a main system like Sigmar or maybe even 40K, they go to Kill Team, or they go
Mhm.
to Old World, or they go to um what's the other one? Warcry, or
Mhm.
one of those other games. And I'll leave you with this. Games Workshop has just killed off one of their major game systems. And I've written an editorial about it. It's gonna be great. This is fine. I don't think anybody realizes it. And I mapped out the whole pattern, like to what happened and what happened before. And like the parallels are like exact. And I'm like, I'm not saying this is for sure. I'm just saying, look at these trends. And Shakira's hips don't lie, y'all. Shakira's hips don't lie. So that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Thanks for keep. That was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Thank you, Rob. It was actually
Story of my sex tape.
3,000%. Nice. Well said, brother.
Nice.
Well said.
Very good.
So Wyatt brought to our table the challenger card dilemma earlier today. He's typically the person on our show. He is the resource material expert of the actual playing of the game in the modern era. I used to be more competitive. Haspel used to be more competitive. Rob used to play a lot more tournaments. So we get a lot of our tournament insight from Wyatt, but he's in wound recovery right now until hopefully August, and he'll be out. So he put this on our radar. Rob already wrote a dope article about it, which you go check out in Spiky Bits. It's really well done, and the guts of that article also have a dope video from John Lennon from. So the guy's a fucking phenom expert. He is top of the food chain when it comes to anything this guy is saying. You should probably listen to. And so it's interesting because the challenger card dilemma doesn't really seem like a dilemma to players like me and like Mike, right? When we're just playing our most of our games. And let's just talk about it real quick for 1 second. Let's define it. Challenger cards are a revenge meter, like if you were playing like Street Fighter or another fighting game, like you're getting your ass kicked, and then you get the special meter pops off, and you get some like a way to come back, a comeback meter, right? And that's also how secret missions used to be. That's how the blue shell in Mario Kart was, right?
Savage.
So it's a revenge mechanic, and what it allows for is it checks at the end of every battle round. If a player's trailing by 6 or more, they get to pull a special card. We did a whole episode on these, and they look really good on paper. And on these special cards, right? I'm gonna make it way faster than John did. He took him 45 minutes.
People get talking, man.
But I watched it twice and distilled it down, so like I have an advantage. But you pull this card, and there's a few of them, right? And they're a shared deck. You pull the card, and it has a mission or a stratagem, a free stratagem, and some of the stratagems are meh. Some of them are really powerful, like advance and charge on units like Canis Rex that can never get it, right? Some of them are like fall back and shoot on units like Knights, or go through walls and shit. So like there's one that like lets you go back in reserves. So there's there's fire and fade. So there's all these really potentially broken stratagems that are applied to units that have never been balanced for them. And I found that the most interesting part of the video and John's point was he's like, that's not even why this is bad. He's like, having flashpoint moments, to quote him, in the game is a part of the game, right? Having like these tides change. He's like, it's the other part, the not sexy part of the card. It's the I put a unit 18 inches away and score 3 points. I do this 3 points. He's like, most of them are free money in the bank. And the issue is that points win games, not sexy maneuvers,
Yep.
right? And so, having said all that to any viewer at home who's not totally caught up on their cards, the issue with the challenger card is the player 2 advantage. Okay, as I mentioned, you check at the end of the battle round, and if you are two very competitive players, try to win this tournament or get your ITC points. If you go second, player 1 has a dilemma now. As we're moving into the end of the battle round, he has to look at his score because player 1 has the advantage of setting the tempo and getting score quick, right? Racking the score up. He has to look now and say, shit, do I really want to go? Do I really want to score both these cards for 7 points, or should I just score the one for 5 and discard the other? So that I don't just get 7 points and he gets a challenger card, gets a free 3. And then because of the tempo of him always ending the turn, and a very important part of the game, Mike, as you know, is primary denial. The guy who goes second can move his units onto your objectives, Mike. I can move my models on your objective, Mike. Then battle round ends. I'm challenger. Your turn starts. I've denied your primary. You're not the challenger yet because the end of the battle round isn't up yet. Then we do a whole. You do your turn. I do my turn again. I deny your primary. Up. Oopsies. I'm still the challenger every fucking turn in a row. So, and the way it looks on paper,
Oopsies.
it probably, for two players like me and Mike playing each other, whoever's the challenger will probably rotate a lot.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Mike? If you and me played, we'd probably be like, you're challenger, I'm challenger, you're challenger.
If it even happened.
Well, someone has to be, yeah, but a good point. Someone has to be up by 6 points, right?
Well, my guess is, and this, and kind of, I talked to it in the pregame. I'm going to be the naysayer on this because my game level isn't on that like master level anymore.
Neither mine.
Right? So I'm like, if I find myself being the challenger, chances are it's not going to matter. Those 3 points are not going to matter because you're 12 points ahead.
Right. What, to John's point though, is that if someone can maintain that tempo, if you do it on turn 2, if you become the challenger on turn 2 and you keep that, it's 12 free points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
true.
the advantage of going second is you get to end the game unchecked, right? And so then you get, so if you could deliver, and the thing is, I don't think I'm not that kind of player. I don't have that kind of skill to spreadsheet that out and always keep an eye on it. And the guy who goes second has the advantage of seeing the score every time he goes, right? So he can control that. So the problem is you get 12 free points, 9 free points, 6 free points, and you get the end of game scramble to get all the free points. So John playing Richard Siegler, the problem is whoever goes second is probably going to win. And they're going to maintain that tempo, and it's forever shifting. And he's not forever. Like, that's a crazy statement.
I know what you
It's currently shifting the tempo of the game and the way we play, because in addition to all these weird stratagems that play out that like are imbalanced, you're playing this little weird mini game where you are like, okay, I go first, so I should always stay 5 points ahead instead of get all the points I can. And then they're going to still end of game scramble on me. And I have to just hope I do enough damage that they can't. Or I go up 7 points and then they get a free 12 on me and still end a game scramble me. So two top tier players, that's what they're doing now. That's how they're playing the game.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I've played more games without using the challenger cards, just specifically because of this, than with the challenger cards, because immediately, like the first game we played, I was like, damn, these are kind of like wild in some cases. And then the fact that you can like go off on bottom of 5, depending, it's like,
And as Wyatt in chat says, like, whoever ends the game, that scramble is oftentimes worth 12, 15 points.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
And
So you end the game on turn 5, get 12 points, and you got 12 free challenger points. Remember, you're only going into each turn down by 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it basically becomes this, and I'm not saying it's totally busted, because lots of people aren't aware of this even tempo mechanic and like this submarining strategy, which is has been brought up. Like, kind of controlling your points has always been a point of the game, but this might be trending toward a pretty not interesting top level way of playing, right? If you're constantly just
Yeah. I
looking
also think it's an easy fix too. It's a very easy fix. So you just say, for organized, for competitive play, you don't get the challenger cards. It's done.
as Wyatt just said, catch up
Oh,
mechanics.
did Wyatt just say that?
Well, he said catch
Yeah.
up, like comeback mechanics, revenge meter
catch up
mechanics.
mechanics don't
They don't belong in organized play.
Okay, well, I read that off of Wyatt's. So Wyatt said that through me. Through
No,
me.
like but it's the same mechanic. It's like we don't, in a turn-based game, we probably don't need this, because Lennon also made a good point in his video about how like going first or second has kind of changed positions as the dominant position throughout
Yep.
10th, right? But it's also done that the whole time we've been playing the game. For a long time, Mike, going first was always best, right? Because you got to alpha strike people, and we only ever scored at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like back in the day, going first always top tier scope. 8th though, do you remember in 8th, Rob? This reminds me of like 8th. In 8th, when it dropped, whoever had the least amount of drops, meaning whoever finished the play first, got to go first. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because you put everything into detachments and be like,
so people were figuring out ways to get like the biggest hardware possible and get like 3 or 4 drops, auto go first, alpha strike with a bunch of indirect fire and shit. So like that, and then immediately GW had to change the rule on that. Remember? They just had +1 to go first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to me, this could potentially be as dominant of a going second scenario. Because remember, but at least now 40K, you don't get to pick if you go first or second. You just go first or second.
yeah.
Right?
Now you roll off. It's the same in Shatterpoint, which Shatterpoint's interesting because there's like you don't score first turn. So if you go first and you run up to the middle and you get on objectives, you basically expose yourself for no reward.
Yeah. No, it's a weird discussion, right? Because on one side of the coin, I don't think this barely would affect me in a game. Because when I lose 40K games, I get destroyed, dude.
Yeah. The only way it would affect me is to give me false hope.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, I can keep playing and I might pull it out. And no, I didn't pull it out. I still lost.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Every
lose
time
by
I've ever
45
played
points, I lost by like 30.
Every game I've ever had against John Lennon and every edition I've played against him in this game has not even been close.
Yeah.
It's not even been close.
I mean, there's people that are just savants at this shit. And I think a lot of those folks on that team, I guess we'll call it. I don't know what the proper term is.
I mean, but it's important for all gamers, because a lot of gamers listen to our podcast and are at different game levels,
Yes,
right?
That's true.
So it was important to represent that to anybody listening who is unaware of this mechanic and how it plays. If you're trying to up your game, maybe go read that Spike Gibbons article and watch John's video, because at the very least, it can help you. It can help you understand the mechanic, the significance of your tempo. Because also, I know a lot of beginner players go second and like, oh fuck, I wish I had gone first. You know what I mean? There's always that little feeling, like But there is a significant advantage to going second if you play the cards right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And John mentions in the video that he likes to go first traditionally because he likes to set the tempo and get center and force you into positions and kind of make up that end game scramble early. But the problem is he's like that kind of dead in his tracks. If he racks it up too quick with good card draws, he can end up paying for that.
Mm-hmm.
So like it kind of stops the way you play the game and makes you focus on optimizing, like deliberately submarining, right?
Deliberately. It's always the accidental.
Chris in chat over at YouTube, he says, "Won't help me, lol."
I don't know.
Yeah, it won't probably won't help me. I know when I played Grey Knights, I liked going second because I liked the whole puzzle
Hmm.
aspect of, okay, this is the situation. How do I get out of this? Or how do I maximize what I can get out of this? And it just seemed like if I went first, I don't know, I felt like Grey Knights were like a water army, and so they're reactive.
Yeah.
But maybe I was playing them wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what's cool about the game is there's a lot of different play styles, and I've seen it done both ways. And Disflux mentions that spending resources to get points early and having it not matter feels bad. And again,
Yeah.
John mentioned that. So like he downplayed in the video like the sexy stratagem part of these cards, but some of them are totally a problem. You know, he's like, you set up, you do a bunch of move blocks, a bunch of perfect moves, and then they're just like challenger card time, and then they just move their shit through your shit because they got a free stratagem that lets fucking. And he's like, he does mention that most notably, Knights and Chaos Knights benefit the
Yeah.
most from the stratagems because they're not balanced like that. A fire and fade or a walk through a wall in a unit or a advance and charge or D6 blood surge or like all he's like a lot of these mechanics are really hella unbalanced for those models.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
so like you set your perfect trap, their go unit, like their power unit drops in, does its work, and then they're like, oh, I'm doing that thing where I go back in reserves, so I can't even react to it now. When it's a unit that never was balanced for a fucking uppy downy.
Mhm.
So like we're not even and so like he's saying, and he is saying that's not even the big problem. And I'm like, that sounds significantly bad. But also I kind of want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But simultaneously I want in on that. Like if it's almost like the challenger cards, if they got rid of the scoring part and just gave you the stratagem part, that'd be kind of wild. Because I like heat. I like spicy shit. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, but that's kind of it. That's kind of the talking point. And luckily there's like I said, an article about it. Spiky bits.
Uh, Stephen Ross wrote the article. So he was talking about his personal experiences at Tacoma and like basically how not really keen on this, the competitive play right now, just because no matter how much, I mean, he referenced the video and it's in there, but also like personal anecdotes, like, hey, this is what happened to me. Like I did this to win a game, but then my opponents did it too, bottom of 5 to win games. And then, oh, like a move blocked this night dude to like, just take it to the dome. And then he moved 6 inches around him and like, so like it doesn't, there's no reward for um like tactful play when somebody can just top deck a card to move 6 inches and just go through.
And I've mentioned this before. Street Fighter 4, the revenge meter was the ultra combo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Zangief could do his ultra combo. So you beat the shit out of me.
Yep.
I'm almost dead. You've still got half your life. My revenge meter pops off. I pull it off, and it kills you. It's just a single move input done. Well, they've since realized that that's not necessarily a fair and balanced revenge mechanic, and then mostly the revenge meter has gone to I'm buffed and my frames are better. I still have to play though.
Mhm.
So like I hit the buttons. I have a little timer ticking down of me being dope for X amount of seconds, and I gotta go do dope shit still. So they're like, that's more balanced. So you don't want to like, oh, I pulled this thing and now it invalidated all your skill. Like we want less of that in 40K.
Mhm. Mhm.
To be fair, but that's my entire opinion of the subject. I watched that video, thought it very interesting. Shout out to Wyatt for putting it on the docket.
No, that was a
tonight.
great idea.
You know, hopefully I can get a game of 10th edition Challenger deck in soon.
I managed to get a copy of the cards finally, thanks to my buddy Dave. So he was vigilant and was able to get me some.
Fuck, dude, I'm jealous.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I actually have bona fide, actual blessed by the
shits.
Omnissiah cards.
Oh, so that was something I should have mentioned in news. So game stores did get a restock of them. Now how long they'll last, nobody knows. But you might be able to find them if you do some quick Google searching.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, and last thing, urbanandbolters.com. Check it out. We're in early
That's
bird
it?
sales, and last week when we talked about it, Kara Quinn mentioned in chat it'd be nice if there was deferred payments. There is now.
Nuts.
The R is now.
There be.
There
There
be. There be.
it happening.
Uh,
That's
Well-
pretty cool.
Well, Haspel, you got something for us?
I need a corporal. You're it until you're dead,
Ah.
or I find someone better.
There it is. Did he die? He didn't die. Oh wait, he did.
He
Wait.
did.
Damn. Damn. Such a good one.
Yeah.
What a gangster.
So I'm stuck with another helmet that's like fiberglass that I need to get rid of so that I can afford the other one. Just
Put
throwing
it
it
on
out
your-
there. There might be a big Primaris helmet showing up on eBay.
I was just gonna say, put it on your eBay fire sale.
That's right.
Mike Haspel eBay fire sale. All right, well, take us out of here, Rob.
So that's it for this one. Thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.